So legs long if you can. Arms just by your sides. Lift your upper back and tuck your shoulder blades in to help just open your chest. Legs are about hip distance apart, but if you feel that this is too much on your lower back, then you can bend your knees, rest your knees together, and just kick your heels out with your toes in. You really want your heels in this position, just wider than your hips. Just helps to anchor, ground, and give you a bit more of a stable base. So just let your eyelashes gently touch. Your eyes close. And start to focus on your breath. So moving out of our day and into our practice, a safe and mindful way. Being aware of that breath flow in and out through your nose. Sending the breath down to just below the chest. And it might be useful to bring your hand to this area. Just to feel like you're catching that breath and then releasing the breath. Sometimes it helps us to understand it a bit more when we can feel it. So slow breaths in and out through the nose. Now sometimes we can rush the breath in, and then we might be slowing the breath out, but I want you to pay particular attention to both breaths, your inhale and your exhale. So no favouring any breath. Try and let your mind settle. Often it's our mind that's the hardest thing to settle. Our body will seek comfort from the support of the floor, but the mind might be still really active from our day. So to work as mindfully and authentic as possible, make sure your mind is focused just on your breath and on your body as it relaxes towards the floor. You might start to feel your thighs rolling out a little bit more, your ankles and your feet relax too. And your spine finds its natural placement. And just start to be aware of your pelvic floor. And lift the pelvic floor up. Then with the next breath in, we'll shift the breath wide into our rib cage. So inviting a more energizing breath into the body. How does your body feel now as you breathe in? Can you feel your rib cage expand? Be aware of the space between your ribs and the stretch in your intercostal muscles. Feel the breath as you inhale go all the way deep down into the lungs. we're going to keep this breath flowing through our practice. So our strong Hatha flow, finding our control through our Vinyasa, and our strength through our poses. Just start to invite your mind just back into your space. Maybe notice your mind a little bit less chaotic and your body a bit more softer. Then try rolling through the wrists and through the ankles and moving through the fingers and through the toes. Releasing any cracking and popping that you may have through your joints, which is just trapped, build up air within those areas. Then start to roll your thighs in so that your big toes touch, so your toes come in towards the midline. This helps to open up your pelvis at the back. And then roll the thighs out. So exhaling to roll in and inhaling to roll out, creating space. 2 more times. Exhale, roll in. Inhale, roll out. Feel how that gently opens your hips. 1 more time, roll in. And then roll out. Now just hold here, be aware of your core activation. So pelvic floor is lifted. Just check your ribs are level with your hips. And then bend your knees. Drawing navel down towards the spine. Just tuck your tailbone under just a little. Just to make sure that those hips and ribs are still level. You don't want to over scoop the pelvis so that the hips will sit higher than the ribs. Floating ribs draw down. Spread the toes nice and wide. Activate big toes and little toe and the 2 corners of your back heel into the floor. Almost like you're gripping, clawing with your toes. Feel the instep lift. Arms by your sides, then push into your feet and lift your hips up to Setu Baddha Sarvangasana. So tuck in your shoulder blades in towards your spine, so our hip bridge. This is a lovely stretch to stretch the abdomen, to open the chest, to open the pelvis, stretches down into the hip flexors, down the thighs, around the knees, the shins, and the ankles. And feel the work in the back body, so the hamstrings, the glutes, shoulder blades squeezing into spine, so helps with our posture. Navel draws down and we breathe wide into the rib cage. Try and take your weight back into your shoulders, but keep your neck nice and safe. 1 more breath here, and then slowly lower your hips to floor. Hug both knees into chest and just add a little sway from side to side. Now bring your left foot to floor, come into half happy baby. So take your right hand to the outside of your right foot. Bend that right knee towards the outside edge of your body and just hold it here. It's a nice prep stretch. Dropping the tailbone down. And then we bend that knee more and we bring the heel in towards the chest. So take the left hand, interlace the fingers with the right and draw your big toe and heel in towards your chest. Lovely. Now try and encourage that right knee to go out and forward. So we get right into the hip flexor. Now making sure that left knee is directly above the ankles. Sometimes if we're a little bit more flexible on the hip, the knee might go out to the side a little. So your weight bearing more onto the outer rim of your foot. Try and engage that big toe down. One more breath, and then we release the right foot to floor. Come to the left side. So half happy baby on the left side. Making sure the tummy's drawn in. One more breath. And then draw that heel towards the chest, knee out to the side. And just cup the foot. We're also going to feel a bit of a stretch in our glute muscle. And then hugging knees, both knees in towards the chest. Let's roll up, tucking the chin in and come into a cross-legged position. So your right leg is in front. Take a big breath in, palms together, and then exhale, twist to the right side, dropping the shoulders down. So you can take the back of the left hand to the outer right thigh. Grind down through your sit bones, extend through the crown of the head. And you might even take that right arm and just wrap it around your back. You might be able to hook it into your left hip crease and really use your back muscles to support this pose. Breathing in wide with your arms, inhaling up, exhaling twist. We might get that arm right round and we might just hook it into the back. Now if you can't get into the hip crease, don't worry, it can rest just on your lower back. And then breathe in, arms wide and high. Anjali Mudra, so hands settle in prayer at the center of the chest. Let's take the soles of our feet together and the knees out wide. We can just encourage the heels in a little bit closer as long as the knees are out towards the side. If you're finding that they're high, bring your feet forward just a little. Stay upright, and as you breathe out, just hinge from your hips, not from your mid-back. Often what happens is when we come into this Barakadasana, we might do that and we might round through our back. Try to hinge from your hips and come forward and bring your weight forward. And sometimes it's useful to bring your hands to your hips. Feel that tilt of the pelvis to come forward, and just use your hands if it helps. Let your big toes part. One more breath. Well done, lift up. Take a hold of your right leg, so your left foot stays where it is. Take a hold of your right leg and just lift the leg up and take the arm underneath and hold on to the foot. Good. We're going to come into more an upright position, and we're just going to use one hand and just help to open out that hip a little bit more. So we take the right knee back. Now your left hand's going to come as an anchor point onto your left shin and sit up nice and tall. Now you're going to draw the knee back like an arrow, pull it right back, and then thrust the heel to the side. So you're aiming for the corner of your mat. So you extend the leg, not fully, but just out to the corner. Draw it back and extend it. Draw it back one more time and then take it out to the corner, opposite corner. Well done. Release it down, flip it over, lift the leg up, hook the arm under, and just move it from side to side a little bit. Now, as you do that, you might notice one hip feels more flexible. There's more give in it than the other. So just be mindful of that, not to overdo that side. Then this time we draw it back and then we press the heel towards the right corner of your mat. Take it back, left knee back, good, and then press it to the right corner, good. You're going to feel this stretch in your upper back too. And across. Well done. Bring the left foot in front, take a big breath in, and just allow your hips to hinge and your hands to find a place on the floor. Roll up through the spine, so draw the navel back, round through the back, lift your arms all the way up, exhale, hands down. Reach the hands forward, tuck in the chin and keep the spine really long. Draw the hands in towards the shins, roll up through your spine, take your arms wide and high, inhale, lovely. So you want to feel that mobilization of your spine. Hinge and reach forward every time, trying to go a little bit further. Now imagine you're dragging your fingers through warm sand, draw them through, and then lift up. How nice would that be right now? Let's do it one more time. Take the hands forward, reach, tuck in the chin, and then draw the hands in. Wonderful. Arms wide and high. Come into that Anjali Mudra. Bring your chest forward, your hands down, walk your knees back, and take your right leg out to the side. Now you're going to bring the instep in line with the left knee. So our anchor point here is the left knee. Sometimes what happens is we take it way out to the side like this. So you want to make sure it's directly under the hip and then adjust your right foot. Bring your hands forward, shift your weight forward. So your toes, your right toes are pointing forward and you're rolling to the outer rim of the right leg, right foot. Now press your hips all the way back. So this is a great stretch for that left thigh and into the back of your right leg. Shift your weight forward, so strength work into that thigh. Push back as you exhale, flexibility work into the right leg. One more time, inhale through and exhale back. Lifting back up. Bring that right knee underneath the hip, extend through the left. Just check your alignment and then sit your hips back. Then shoot forward. Good. 2 more times. Exhaling, chest to thigh, nose to knee maybe. Inhaling, crown of the head, weight forward, wrists under shoulders. 1 more, exhale. Inhale. Well done. Hands and knees. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So you might want to come into that plank first to get your alignment right. Into your downward facing dog. Pedal it out if that feels good. So drop your heels closer to the floor, maybe stretch your waist. Make sure that we've got a good connection with our abdominals, drawing them in. Now walk your feet all the way up towards your hands. Hands onto shins, big breath in, chest lifts, shoulders, hip height. Then bend your knees and roll up through your spine. Samasthiti, arms wide and high. Anjali Mudra. Into Tadasana, palms forward. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold, chest to thighs. Step back, right, left, into downward facing dog. Float through into plank. Knees come down, release your toes back. Wrists under shoulders, bend your elbows and slow chaturanga, half chaturanga to the floor. Staying low, roll the shoulders back and down, and then lift your palms off the floor using those back muscles. Your navel is lifted, your pubic bone is down, your shoulders are drawn back, so nice and strong. Hands come down, tuck your toes under, push and lift up, reverse chaturanga into downward facing dog. Walk your feet up towards your hands, forward fold, hands to shins, flat back extend, bend your knees, roll up through your spine, arms wide and high. Anjali Mudra, palms forward into Tadasana. And again, inhale, rise. Exhale, forward fold. Step left and right into downward facing dog. Float through into plank. Knees or toes. Chaturanga slow with control. Either stay low or push the hands in and lift up into Bhujangasana, stretching off the abdomen. Hips up and back into downward facing. Now you can walk up, you can bend your knees and take your eye gaze to your hands, spring and jump your feet up into Uttanasana, forward fold. Hands to shins, flat back extend, and then bend your knees and roll up, arms wide and high. Hands to chest. Good, palms forward. And again, inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Now you might jump it back or step it back into downward facing. So we feel that warm, float to plank. Chaturanga. Bhujangasana. Downward facing. Bend the knees, you might walk up or jump up. Bring your hands to your shins. And then bend your knees and roll up through your spine. Anjali Mudra. Palms forward, Tadasana. One more round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Step or jump. Downward facing. Float to plank. Chaturanga. Breathe in out. Big breath in. Fill that space. And then hips back to heels. Extend your child's pose, feeling the release through the back. Downward facing dog, hips lift nice and high. Bending your knees, lunging your right foot between your hands. Let's level up. So drop down through that left heel. So heel to heel alignment and straighten out through that right leg. Now lift your arms all the way up. Palms together, index fingers out and reach forward. Keeping both legs straight. Open the arms and the hands and turn into Trikonasana. Lovely. So pressing that right hip back to your left heel, lifting your right kneecap up into your thigh and keeping your side body parallel to each other. Take that left arm, wrap it round your back, hook it into your hip crease if you can. And then bend your right knee, keep your left hand where it is, drop your right hand to floor. Use that arm to press into your inner right thigh. If you want to try a bind, take your right arm underneath, interlace the fingers and drop your hip, eye gaze to the floor. Hands either side of that right foot, pick up the left heel, step it back to down dog. Float to plank, Chaturanga and Bhujangasana. Downward facing, catch your breath, bend the knees, left foot through, heel to heel. So your right foot is down on the floor, so is your left one. Then we straighten out through that left leg. Then shoot the arms up, index finger out, so steeple fingers out. And then turn your chest and shoulders, opening into Trikonasana, right arm to the sky. Right hand wraps around the back into your hip crease. And then bend the left knee, dropping those hips. Do you want to try the bind on this side? Left arm under, interlace the fingers or just let them touch, look down. Feel that work in your legs. Well done, hands either side of the foot. Pick up the right heel, step it back to downward facing. And then we float to plank. Chaturanga. Elbows in. Wonderful. Chest lifts. Hips back to heels. Downward facing, lift those hips up. And then we take our big toes together, press the heels to floor, and lift your right leg high to three-legged dog. Now you're going to bring that right knee in towards your chest. Kick it through to the left, to the outside edge of that right foot. Bring your left heel down and lift your left arm up. That's it. And we twist. Perfect. Hold it here. Now, if you want a little bit more strength, lift that right leg off the floor. Peace fingers to big toe. Reach out. Give it a go if you can. One more breath. Take it back to downward facing dog. Stay here. Inhale, left leg. So big toes touch, heels press down, left leg lifts to three-legged dog. Draw the knee into chest. Slide the left foot through to the outside edge of the foot. Bring your right heel down and lift your right arm up. And then are we going to go for it? So draw your tummy in. So this is oblique work, core work, flexibility work, strength work in the arms. Hold, step it back, downward facing. Power it up as we power through to plank, to chaturanga, bhujangasana. You're still with me. Hips back to heels. Extended child's pose, tucking in your chin. Just let that breath settle. One more breath. Okay, downward facing, hips lift. Big toes touch, heels press. Right leg sweeps up. Press armpits towards the floor. Right knee in. Kick the foot out to the left. Then draw it back up and in to three-legged dog. And again, bring it through and out to the left. Work into the obliques and lift that leg back up again. 2 more times. Breathe out. Through. Lovely. And back up. Can we do it again? Through. Elevate it off the floor. And back to down dog. Let's do the other side. Left leg lifts up. Inhale. Knee to chest. Kick the foot through. Hold. Squeeze the inner thighs. Leg goes all the way back up. Three-legged, chest to thigh. Kick through. Inhale, back up. 2 more times. Exhale. Keep your armpits square with the floor so that we're really just working those abs, and through. Back to down dog. Float through to plank. Feel the work in your arms. Chaturanga. Bhujangasana, lift. Well done. Press your hips back. Extended child's pose. Downward facing. Big toes touch. Heels press. Inhale, right leg lifts. Hip opens to the side. Right foot to the outside of the right hand. Right arm lifts to lunge. Twist. Hand comes down, step it back to down dog. Breathe for 2 breaths here. Big toes touch. Inhale, left leg lifts. Square armpits and hips. Then step to the outside of the left hand. Left arm lifts. Are we breathing? Squeeze upper thighs in. Hand comes down, step back. Now we're going to try and jump a little bit wide. Okay, so we bend our knees, look to our hands, and jump feet to the outside of our hands into Malasana. Well done. Excellent. Bringing the ankles underneath, dropping your hips down. Pressing the elbows into inner thighs, making sure our feet are flat on the floor. If not, we lift up into that sumo squat. Lift the hips up, hands come down. Let's jump it back. Downward facing. Now you're going to find your rhythm. You're going to do this a few times. If you find it's too much, just slow it down and find a place to rest, maybe in extended child's. But we bend our knees, look forward, engage the belly, jump up, come into Malasana. Take a breath. Hands down, lift the hips, jump back. Downward facing, wonderful. Bend the knees, look to the hands, jump. Drop the hips, excellent. Hands down, lift the hips, jump it back. We've got one more time. Bend, look, jump up. It gets easier, doesn't it? Yeah. Hands down, jump back to down dog. Let's float through to plank, to chaturanga, to bhujangasana. Hips back to heels. Sweep your arms back, release any pressure through your wrists. One more breath. Arms reach forward, plank, down dog. Now you're going to roll through your spine to plank pose. Lift your left arm up as you turn to the left. So that's side plank. So we're scissoring the legs. Option, drop your right knee to floor. Okay, so your right knee could be on the floor. Your left leg could be lifted, or it could be down on the floor. So I'm just going to show you. So you might be here. Okay, if you're in your scissor split, you're here. Hand comes back down. Let's go to the other side. We lift up. So we could be here on our knees. We're going to come back. We could be on our knees, lifting up through that left arm. Hand comes down. Lift up through the right arm. And then hand down, knees down, hips back. So downward facing dog, tailbone nice and high. Bend your knees and bring your right foot between your hands, left heel down, warrior two. I'm just doing it on the side so you can see, you can be straight on. So you want to make sure that our hips are level. So we adjust our feet. Shoulders roll down. Now straighten out through that right leg and reach again into your Trikonasana. So coming into it in a different way. Now check your side body. So no collapsing and rounding through the bottom, through the right rib. Lengthen it out. So that might mean lifting higher. Working those postural muscles. Bend the knee, come back to warrior two. Arms lift all the way up. We're going to come into goddess pose. Bend your knees. Release your hands so thumb and index fingers touch. Keep the hands where they are. Straighten the legs. And breathe out and squat deep. Breathe in and lift. Good, breathe out. And breathe in. One more, squat. And lift. Come back to warrior two, right knee bent. Windmill your hands either side of that foot, downward facing. Float through to plank, chaturanga, bhujangasana. Chin in, hips back to heels. Hips lift up, downward facing dog. Bend the knees, left foot between the hands. Setting up, warrior two, windmill. So left knee bent, heel in line with instep. And drop into your hips. Straighten out through the left leg. Reach, creating length, and land. Now send that left hip to the right heel. And done one more breath here. And bend the knee. Lift the arms up into your wide squat. Fingertips, thumb and index finger, bend your knees. Reach up. So we drop down and reach the crown of the head up. Two more times, drop and reach. One more, elbows back and lift up. Well done. From here, heels in, toes in, heels out. Come into your wide straddle, hands come down. Now try and get your elbows down on the floor if you can. And just hold it here. Rolling your thighs in and back. One more. Tuck the hands in, wrists under shoulders. Bend the knees, heels in, toes out, and drop into your Malasana Hindi squat. Well done. Now lift your hips up a little bit and take your hands under. So take your hands together, reach your fingertips to the back of your mat and get your fingertips just down on the floor and just rest your hips down on your arms. Just feel that work in your hips and in your lower back. One more breath. Well done. So you're sitting on the tops of your arms. Then lift your hips up. Point your toes forward into forward fold. Tuck in your chin. So bend your right knee and lift the heel off the floor. So heels lift, right heel lifts, and you take your right arm underneath. So your right arm comes inside of your right thigh. Then take your left arm and wrap it round your back. Try and see if you can hook it into your hip crease. Now you might just stay here. Okay, you might bend that right elbow and take your fingertips so they connect. Shift the weight into the left foot and start to lift your right foot as you straighten your left leg to standing if you can. Then once you're here, you're going to start to extend your right leg out to Bird of Paradise. And bend the knee. And then bend that left knee with control. Drop it down. Release your hands to floor, tuck in the chin. Now you could always use a strap between your hands. So bending both knees just slightly. You can take the strap in your left hand and then reach back with your right hand and take a hold of the strap. The strap's then going to support your inner left thigh, just like your arm would do. If you're trying it this way, then we lift up that left heel. The left arm goes under, so it's just above the crease in the knee, the back of the knee, fingers touch. Eye gaze stay down. And it's about finding your balance and using your core really strong. So you lift the pelvic floor, lift the belly, and then start to power off your standing leg. And then extend out. Bend the knee. And then bend and slowly come down. Hands to floor, forward fold. Keep the head low, step it back into extended child's pose. Now we lift up onto all fours. Now we can stay on all fours, pushing the floor away, lifting the belly strongly and drawing the right knee into the chest, and then it comes down to the floor. And then left knee comes in and down. Okay, so we switch it. Breathing out as we draw that knee high into the chest. Now you can round your upper back like a rolling cat stretch. That really helps you. Yeah, just like that. Curl through your spine. Trying to get your nose as close to your knee, or knee as close to your nose. Feel that work in your abs. Make sure we're connecting the breath. Now, as we do that, it's quite common to transfer your weight over. So as you bring the right knee in, you might start to transfer your weight over to the left side. Try and keep it evenly placed between the hands. That way, you're really focusing. That's better, yeah, focusing on your core. Just take your knees slightly wider, if that's helpful. Now, if you're feeling okay there and you want to take it a step further, you can come onto your toes. Okay, right knee through and back, left knee through and back. Breathe out. Now, you want to keep your hip in line with your shoulders when you do that. Yeah, that looks good. Sometimes when we do that, the hips go up almost like we're in a down dog, and then you lose the connection in the abdominals. Well done, everyone. That looks great. One more each side. Knees down, hips back. Now you're going to come into a hover position. Remember, we have 3 levels for this. Whichever level, we're always down on the elbows on a hover position. So we might be here. Okay, my bottom is higher, but my core is drawn in and my spine is straight. You're going to move from, it's a little combination. So you're moving from your hover back up to a plank or half plank. And then you're coming back down again. Okay, so this is really good for the shoulders. It's really good for the abdominals. It's really good for the obliques. Okay, if you want to walk your knees back a bit, you can be here. You can tuck your toes under and lift up and crawl down. Okay, or you can be on your toes. So we'd be down on the elbows. We're here. We push, we lift up, and we come down. Just watch again that that bottom is not too high. Excellent. Down and then up. Good. And remember, it's fine to be on your knees. You're working just as hard, keeping that technique. Perfect. Make this your last one. And then press your hips back to your heels again. And come onto your back. So we're just going to close our hips off. Take your right leg, cross it over your left thigh, and square your hips off. Wonderful. Now, take your arms out wide, and then bring your hands together. Take your right arm under your left arm into eagle arms. Okay? Now, if this is going to cause you too much with the coordination, then just forget about the arms. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw knees and elbows in towards each other, keeping the chin in, and then taking it away. Okay, so the elbows are drawing in towards the knees as we breathe out, and as we breathe in, the foot touches down on the floor. So you're going to find your rhythm. You can be slow, or you can speed it up. But make sure you get that crunch where the navel is down towards the spine. Two more this side. One more. And release. Arms out wide. Oh, feel that release in your chest. Untangle your legs. And let's bring the left leg over the right thigh. Arms out wide. Left arm under your right arm, eagle arms or not, you choose. And then when we're ready, let's go. Crunch and release. Inhale. Crunch and release. 3, 2 more. And 1 more. Lovely. Untangle the hands, the legs, stretch out, arms overhead, legs are nice and long. So bend in that right knee and draw it into your chest and extend the leg high to the ceiling. So you can have your left knee bent and foot on the floor, or you can have it extended, your choice. So just rotate through your ankle one way and then through the other. Just focusing on length here. And then tuck your chin in. And just maybe walk your hands up towards your ankles. Again, chin in and just rounding that upper back, drawing that belly in. Good, bend both knees in towards your chest. Lay your head down. Right foot down, left leg extends. Just draw that kneecap up towards the thigh. Roll through your ankle one way and then the other. It's a nice active stretch. And tuck in the chin, roll up. Walk your hands up towards your ankle if you can. And then slowly release it down, both knees into chest. Bring feet to floor and extend your legs long. Just take your arms by your sides. Lift your chest. Squeeze your shoulder blades in. Just close your eyes and move your breath from your ribs back to your upper belly. Just let your body be heavy. Feel that deep work through the whole of the body. One more focused breath. And then reach your arms overhead, interlace your fingers, press your palms away, and just maybe stretch out through your side body. Draw your knees in, take them to your right, and roll yourself up to a seated position. Now you might just be in Sukhanasana, easy posture. You might be in a modified half lotus with one foot up, or you might be in full lotus with both. Your hips are nice and warm, so you might want to try that full lotus. Find your hand mudra, just close your eyes and breathe. Big breath in, arms wide and high, fingertips touch. Thumbs to the third eye, position between your eyebrows, elbows together, and we bow forward together. Namaste. Open your eyes, bring the hands to the center of the chest. Take the time to be grateful and thankful for your practice, for our shared practice. Another breath in and out. Blink your eyes open and give yourself a big clap. Well done, everyone. Hope you enjoyed your strong Hatha flow.